Hello, welcome to my website, Born in Hell. My name is Laurie Smith. I am a child abuse survivor and just a child advocate, really, out here, public advocacy, raising awareness about child abuse prevention and protection of children mainly. Thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate the support that I've had over the years, and you can go back and watch the introductory one if you want to, just talking about why I'm doing this and what I've been doing and what I'm currently doing. This is a video series looking at the chronological years of my life growing up in this abusive environment. It's very, very graphic, very, very, very graphic and very explicit. I'm kind of presenting it at the ages that I was, so that I'm putting you into present with me at the time, so you can get an idea of what that would be like, if you haven't experienced abuse, that you would know kind of how that feels and the pain involved, the psychological, emotional trauma, the physical trauma, just the whole entire horrific ordeal, that this type of stuff, has on people, right, and on children, right? So, I appreciate everybody who's taken the time to watch and to share my work. I appreciate all the people that have supported me over the years. Like I said, I've had lots of people follow my work. And I'm just telling the story. I'm just telling the truth, the reality of the abuse. I'm kind of skipping, lots going through. I'm just picking certain things that I really wanted to mention, and they really are the focal points of my book, A Life of Death Redemption. And but I'm just kind of giving more background information, and you get to see how I felt at the time, and what type of emotion was behind all of this. This had a serious effect on my life, this abuse. It caused me to want to commit suicide. I never attempted suicide, but I had suicidal ideation from the age of 10 years old. And I really felt dead. And I was just waiting to see, the physical manifestation of being dead. So I did a lot of drugs. I didn't take care of myself. I was abused completely I was physically abused until I was 17 by my parents, both of them. And at the age of 17, the physical abuse stopped, but the verbal stuff, the emotional, psychological abuse continued on, and it just kept going. And so now you have to listen at your own discretion. We're going to be looking at years 20, finishing up 20 and 21. It's graphic, it's explicit, like I said. If you have any thought in your head that, this type of information about abuse, domestic violence, child sexual abuse, child abuse of any kind, violence, any type of violence, and it's going to bother you, then please don't watch the show. And use your own discretion. And you wouldn't be hurting my feelings at all. And if you're a survivor of abuse, make sure that you are far enough in your healing journey, far enough along, that this type of information is not going to cause you to regress, because nobody wants that. You wouldn't be hurting my feelings by not watching. I talk very, very openly about the abuse, that not just that happened to me, but to my mother, to my brothers, to my siblings, to my friends, people that I knew. And it can be very difficult for survivors to listen to. So if you're a survivor, you make that very careful decision on whether you want to listen to my stuff, whether it's the audios that I'm uploading right now, which is from Blog Talk Radio from years like 2009 to basically like 2014 on the child abuse stuff, and then I kept going with biblical stuff and some child abuse stuff. But listen to all of my work at your own discretion. I am very open about what I'm talking about, and it's very explicit and very graphic. Minors under the age of 18, you have to have parental or adult consent to listen to my shows. And the reason this is all about child protection, child prevention, and that's exactly why I'm asking you to do that, because these are adult topics, even though this is dealing with child abuse, and I was a child and I was abused. Horrific, 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 and my story, it's nothing compared to these children out here today who are in the morgue, who have been killed because of the abuse that they've suffered, whether it was murder outright or just died from the abuse itself, right, or the neglect. And so children, and minors, any young person under the age of 18, I asked that you would have an adult listen to the show first and help you to make the decision whether you should be listening or not. age appropriately, right? Do that for me as a favor. I really fight for child protection, child abuse prevention, and it is really all about you. It's all about you and all of these children out here today. You know, we need to be a voice for children, and I know what this is like. I know what it's like to be abused, and I know, I'm speaking for my brothers, for my sisters, for my whole entire family, really, and my friends. So, and people that can't ever speak about this stuff. So make the right choice. If you're a minor, have parental or adult consent to listen to my stuff. Thanks, everybody. We'll get right into this. We left off, I'm 20 years old, and my brother has committed suicide. He was 33. He was 13 years older than me. He's the brother, Rob, who sexually abused me as a child. He's 13 years older than me. So when I was 20, he was 33, and he finally killed himself. I left off talking about, whether or not I really should have, what was I supposed to be feeling? Was I supposed to care? Was I supposed to be upset? Because I really didn't care at the time that he had committed suicide. And I'm 20 years old, I'm doing a lot of drugs, still, not looking after myself, still running around with my good friends, who are all dysfunctional and all came from abusive homes and who are all involved in some sort of trouble at some point, on some level. And some of my friends, involved in domestic violence disputes. Like I was talking, my friend Di and her boyfriend Ray had a lot of problems, dealing with their own issues, and then came together as a couple, and living together. And both of them very violent. Both of them had a lot of problems, and it just was a lot of domestic violence on their end. So this is where we're at. It is still going on. Okay, I'm still, I'm still 20. I'm still living with the folks, right? Well, my parents and my family end up going up to my brother's funeral. Now I don't go. I'm the only one that doesn't go. Now there's not very many of us left because people are dropping like flies. Well, not really yet, but my brother Kevin was in Canada already, and he's the one that had to go and deal with Rob's funeral, right? And I didn't go to the funeral, and my mom and dad did go, and my sister Kathy went, and she was pregnant at the time. She was married, and she was pregnant at the time with my niece Kim, and she was far into the pregnancy and was worried about the flight and the travel, but they said that she'd probably be safe to go, so she went too. And I was the only one that didn't go. And I was relieved because my brother raped me. I did not want to go to that funeral. And I was glad that my family did not make an issue. My family doesn't know I was raped by my brother. My mother knows. But it's all tucked away in that nice little drawer where I tucked the child sexual abuse away, like I was talking before. I shut the drawer, turned the key, put the key away, right? So I don't go to the funeral. I'm just hanging around with my friends, getting high. Same as usual. That's what I do. I just do drugs, get high. I work. I'm always a steady worker, and I'm always on time. I'm a good worker. And so, I'm just continuing on. My ankle's pretty well healed up by now. I've had a year of physical rehab on my ankle. It's been trashed from the car accident at 18 years old. My doctor bill's pretty well paid off. And things are looking a little better on that end. But I'm still doing a lot of drugs. Now, my friend Di and I, we're getting into things like crystal meth, snorting crystal meth. Really horrific drugs that will destroy you. And we got off of that right away because we realized how dangerous and how disgusting that was. And but we kept doing other things. We're still partying, right? And, it was just one big party, but it was never fun. It always ended up in complete, really disaster. But we were so used to this. We all grew up abused. Our life was a disaster. And so this was just a continuation of my life. As I had told my mother when I was 18, and she had said, "Look what you're doing. You're ruining your life. Look what you're doing to yourself." And I was like, that's what she told me when she put me in the oven. That's why I clued in. That's why my little brain, this little light bulb went bing. I've heard that before come out of your mouth as she was shoving me into the oven at the age of 11 years old, trying to shove me in the oven so I'd burn myself. She couldn't put me in the oven. The racks were there. I was too big. I was 11 years old. I mean, I was 11 years old, right? I'm still small. She got me go. She put my arms and my hands. You know, I'm like fighting to get back. I'm pushing and I'm pushing, burning my hands, burning my knees, any place that I touched because she's shoving me into this hot oven, right? She's telling me, you're doing this to yourself. Okay. Now, age 18, you know, after my car wreck, she told me the same thing. Look what you're doing to yourself. You're ruining your life. You know, trying to be the mother figure, right? After my accident, I'm home, you know, laying in bed. And after this party that they had thrown for me. You can go back and watch that. It's a couple videos back. But anyway, you know, we're still continuing on. Nothing has changed, you know. We go to a party. We decide that we're gonna go out. We're gonna drink at the bar. It's gonna be like an all-nighter. And it's Di, and it's Ray, and here's my cat. This is little Laurie. She has to come say hi. She's my cat. She likes to be in all the videos. If you haven't noticed, anything that I do that is video oriented, I do a lot of Bible studies, a lot of biblical Bible studies. And she always wants to be in the video at first. Like, she comes to say hi. Right? So she's so sweet. I don't mind at all. I love that cat. She's my baby. And we've had her 10 years, and she was abused. The people that had her before us abused her. And, you know, God just gave her to us and allowed us to care for her and to love her. And we do. She's our baby. So Cecil, my husband, named her little Laurie after me. So there you go. That's the story on that. But anyway, we decide we're going out. It's Di. It's Ray, her boyfriend. She's been living with now for a couple of years. You know, I'm 20, going on 21, right? So, you know, she's 18, going on 19. He's my age, right? So he's two years older than her. So we're going out. We're going to go to the bar. Just going to have some drinks, have some fun, always involving drugs, because that always went along with it, and some pot, right? So we're going out, and we're also going out with her mother. Her mother comes along, Sarah. She wanted to come with us and party it up a little bit. And she was not a drug user, not at all. But she liked to go out and have fun, you know. So here we go out, and we're having a pretty good time at the bar. Ray's starting fights with people at the bar. It's already kind of getting a little sort of depressing because Ray's trying to pick fights with some of these guys at the bar. It was a big, big club. We're talking like, this was a busy place. I think it was called Caravan. It's in New Mexico. But anyway, it was busy. Not a little tiny corner neighborhood pub where you can talk, right? Music was loud, you know, a lot of people around. It was just like people looking, you know, like a meat market, you know, the guys, you know, girls, they're all just, you know, it's looking for a one-night stand sort of thing, right? So it's that kind of bar, right? But people love that bar. I'm not into bars, but I go with them because, yeah, we're 21. I have to be 21 for this story because I have to be legal drinking age. Di gets in. She gets in. So you have to be 21 to get in. So I think she has fake ID or something. So we get in. Anyway, her mother's there too, right? And then we leave. We got a buzz on, no problem. The bar's closed down. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and we hit up a pancake house. And we're thinking it was a pretty good night. We had a good time. You know, wasn't all that much trouble involved, so it was good. And we're all sitting there in this pancake house having coffee. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, the four of us, right, in this little booth, right? I'm on this side, on 2-2. And Diane says, I got to go to the bathroom, man. I got to go. Somebody come with me, right? So I said, oh, I'll go, right? And Ray was sort of passed out at the booth. He was sort of sleeping, right? He's a junkie. He's always nodding out, right? So we figure it's perfectly cool that the ladies, us, go to the bathroom, right? So I drove, so I'm not too buzzed. I'm probably the only one that isn't too buzzed because I'm driving, and I decided that I was going to be the designated driver, so I wasn't going to be too high or too loaded, right? So we go to the bathroom, you know, all three of us. We pile in the ladies' room. We're all going to the bathroom. And then I'm standing out, you know, washing my hands and fixing my hair and stuff, whatever, looking in the mirror going, you know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, it's like I look bad. It's like, oh, God, don't look in the mirror. And and Diane comes out of the stall, Her mom's still in this though. Ray comes bursting, just busting through the door, through the ladies' room door. And he comes in the ladies' room, and he's mad because we left him sitting there by himself. And he probably thought that we took off and left him, which why we would do that? We wouldn't do that, right? But this is probably what he had in his mind, that we all took off and left him or something, right? I don't know. I don't know what's going on in his mind. The guy was crazy. He was absolutely insane. So what does he do? See, him and Diane have been fighting the whole time. He's very physically abusive to her, but she's also very violent. She fights back. She's still getting the worst end of the stick. He's beating on her. Now, I told you guys this in the last video, that I'm worried for my friend, because I'm worried that he's going to kill her one day. She says, oh no, he won't kill me. I'll kill him first. Because my friend was tough. She was the one that told me I needed to stand up for myself against my mother, right? When I was 16 years old, 15 years old. She's, I was going on 16, 2 months away, 2 months from 16. She tells me, you gotta stand up for yourself, man. You gotta demand better treatment. And I'm like, I need to hang around with this chick a little bit more because she's got balls. She's tough, right? She is a tough chick, actually, and she used to go around beating people up in high school. She's tough. She figures she can handle herself with this guy. I can't figure out why they want to stay in this relationship that's so abusive. Why she would want to stay in this thing that just causes her trouble and pain. That's what her mother did, right? And her mother was hospitalized by her dad. So it's a cycle. There's that lovely cycle again, right? And so what he does is he comes in the bathroom, and he doesn't say anything. He's just so pissed off. You can see it on his face that he's raging mad, and someone's going to get hurt. And I'm like, I can feel it from his body, because I'm used to being beat by my mother, right? I'm used to being beat on. Well, this is years back. I'm 20 going on 21, so the last real ass kicking I took was at 16, right? I mean, I still got slapped around a little bit, 17, but nothing major. The last real, thrown into walls, beat on and pounded and just pounded and punched and kicked and slapped around, was 16. So, and my dad whipping my legs and just horrible stuff, right? So 15, 16. So it's been a few years since I've experienced any real major abuse from anybody, but I still know what it feels like, and I know what to look for, and I know that vibe coming off of somebody who's going to attack you. My mom was always attacking me. I could pick this up real quick, you know what I mean? So I know she's standing really close to me. She's standing just like right sort of next to me, and I'm thinking, her mom's still in the stall. I'm like, I got to I'll step in, right? In my mind immediately, I'm thinking, he goes to hit her. I gotta do this for her. She's my best friend, right? Well, he comes at her. I mean, literally comes at her, grabs her like this, you know what I mean? And has her up against this hard tile wall. It's a women's bathroom wall, right? And he slams her head into it. And he's like, bang, bang, like this. And her head's like hitting this tile, and her eyes started to roll back in her head. Okay, I know what this is like. I've been thrown into walls. I had my mom beat me with a rolling pin till my head cracked, smacked me in the head with a rolling pin and beat my whole body, not the whole body, but my back, my shoulders, cracked my head with a rolling pin. I know what it's like to have my eyes roll back in my head, man. I've been knocked out by my dad pretty well twice, being thrown against walls, right? I'm thinking she could die. You know what I mean? He's going to crack her skull. That's immediately what came to me. And as soon as I just move 1 inch, I mean, I'm talking, I didn't even hardly make a move to try to help her, with his free hand, he grabbed me and he went like this, and he's like, I'll fucking kill you. And I froze. I literally froze. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. And he still got her, and he's still slamming her head into that thing, into that tile wall. She can't even fight back because now she's getting limp. She's going down, right? Well, the mom, this happens so fast. I don't know if you guys have ever been, people watching here, have ever been in any kind of situation like that. Abuse happens fast. You can kill, doesn't matter, a person, a child, an animal, you can destroy them very quickly, right? The abuse that I suffered from my mother, these beatings, they didn't go on for no 20, 30 minutes. The damage was done real quick. Because when somebody has that amount of anger and that amount of energy coming out, and they are pounding you and beating the shit out of you, they can really only keep it up so long. Because we're not talking a little, better straighten up, girls. We're talking boom, boom. You know what I mean? Like whatever they're beating you with, stick, doesn't matter. That energy gets used, right? And the damage is deadly. And so, her mom books out of the stall. And her mom is tough. Her mom's actually an ex-sheriff. And she comes out and actually, because she's an ex-sheriff, gets Ray away from Di. She has him, not handcuffed, but she has his arms because she knows how to do it. She's been trained, right? She's an ex-sheriff. And she's tough. And she has his arms, and she's got him to where he can't do anything. She has him pinned. And she's like, girls, get out of here. Girls, get out of here. So we're getting ready to book out. I'm trying to help Di because she's pretty well, she's just had her head slammed into the wall, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 times. I mean, here comes the restaurant man, the restaurant manager. He's like, I've already called 911. Whatever's going on in here, the police are on the way. And I just want you to know that because he didn't know it could have been a gun involved. We're talking New Mexico. We're talking Albuquerque, where I grew up. If you want to read my books, I explain and go into a little bit of detail the type of place that is. It's dangerous. It's just to put it that way. Just I'm not going to deviate from the story here too much, but it's very dangerous. And there's a lot of guns, and there's a lot of drugs, and there's a lot of problems. And so he's like freaking out, that manager. And so the cops get there quick because, they're not sure if there's a gun involved. They're not sure what's going on, if it's a hostage situation, right? Well, I have Di out in we're actually waiting inside because we decided to wait for the cops inside instead of going to my car because the last time that we had gone to my car, Ray punched me in the face. It's kind of like, let's not go to the car, man. Last time I went to the car, Ray hit me in the head. You know what I mean? Like, see, he didn't hit me in the side of the face, but he gave me a blow, man. And I was like stunned, and he grabbed my keys. You can watch that last video, a couple videos before. And so I'm like, not a good idea. Let's not go to the car. We'll wait for the cops, And Sarah still had him, but he couldn't do anything. She had him restrained. And it was great. I was like, thank God somebody here can restrain this guy. The cops come, and Di is talking to the cop. I shouldn't call him a cop. Actually, I have total respect for police officers. Not the ones that go bad, but the good guys, absolutely I do. They save people's lives every day. And, this guy, this is a policeman. He's talking to Di, getting her report. And he's like, here's your options. This is what you can do. You can have him booked, and you can charge him. We can charge him with assault, assault and battery. He's going through all this stuff. I'm sitting there just, freaking out, kind of wigged out that I froze. I couldn't believe that I froze. I took it back to my dad's head. I'm not a wimp. Not at all. I'm also not a bad, mean, evil person, but I'm not a wimp. I should have been able to stand up for my friend, and I don't know why I couldn't do it. And it bothers me. And it still bothers me today because I don't know what changed. I took it back to my dad's head. Maybe it was just one too many beatings. I don't know. It could have been, because I was 9 years old when I took it back to my dad's head. And I had had so many beatings prior to 9 years old, but I had so many more beatings after 9 years old. I'm not sure what changed. You know what I mean? But maybe it's because it was my mother. That might have been a different. I don't know. You know what I mean? But whatever it was, I got froze, and I was really bothered by that. And, anyway, Ray's sitting in the back of the police car with handcuffs on. Best place for him. That's where he should be, according to me. And her mom comes over and talks to Di after the police tells her, you have choices to make. You need to make a choice here. Tell us what you want us to do with them. We got them in the back of the car. And her mom comes over and tells her, you better just let him go home. Don't have him put in jail, right? Just let him go home, sleep it off. You guys will be fine, I'm sitting here going, I'm like, you gotta be kidding, man. He just almost killed her. He almost busted her skull in. He's dangerous, man. I'd let him do time so that he can figure out that he's not going to be allowed to do that if he wants to stay with her. Di is like, he needs to go to jail, Mom. Here's Di thinking, yeah, you let Dad beat you and put you in the hospital several times, not just once, not just twice. I mean, I felt bad for my friend. I was just like, this is such a crap situation. Same thing with my mom, with Howard, my brother, with the knife to my sister's throat. I'll slit your throat. You have to take me to do this. My mom's like, my mom didn't call the cops. She had me talk him down. She had me talk him into putting the knife down. This is how people are. See? All the domestic violence in my home between my parents, my dad beating on my mom and stuff. Nobody called the cops. No, because that's when you live in dysfunction and abuse, it's not always a situation that people will call the cops. They just let it keep on going. They let it keep on continuing on, right? It's our life. This is what we do, right? This is how it is, as my mom used to tell me. This is how it is. This is how it's going to be. You got a problem with it, you let me know. Because that right there was just one more reason for an ass kicking from her, So it's like, I'm not saying nothing, man. Go in my room, sit down and shut the hell up so I don't get beat on, right? So, he's still in the back of the car. Her mom actually talks her into letting him come home. Guess who they're coming home with? Me. I'm driving. I'm like, this is not a good situation. Him in the car with her. My parents used to fight in the car. My dad would be punching my mom. My mom would be scratching my dad. They're driving. My dad's like, you whore, punching her. My mom's like, you son of a bitch, and scratching him. And the two of them fist fighting and stuff while he's driving, like 100 miles an hour down the road. And I'm in the back seat going, I've been kidnapped, man. There's no way these are my parents. There's no way. These cannot be my parents. You know what I mean? Because if I say anything, my mom will reach around the back seat, give me the fucking backhand. So I don't say shit. I just lay on the floor and I don't even think, oh dear God, get us home. Because at this point, man, God's not in my life, right? And I'm just like sitting there on the bottom of the car, just thinking, these people kidnapped me. They must have kidnapped me. That's not my mom, and that's not my dad. That can't be. That can't be. That was me saying, I don't want that. You know what I mean? It's not possible that these two people could be my parents, but unfortunately it was true. But anyway, I'm used to this shit, see, but I don't want to deal with it because I'm thinking these two are going to start duking in the car while I'm driving. What am I going to do? What's Sarah going to do? So Sarah, her mom sits in the back seat with Di. Ray is in the front seat with me. I should have said, hell no, you're taking a cab, buddy. But no, it's part of my life. I let people hit me. That's what I've been doing my whole life, laying on the ground, warding off the blows from my mom, just trying to block some of the blows. That's what I do. Because I don't know enough to make these types of good decisions for myself, right? Just what I do. So he gets in the car, he's in the front seat. He's still pissed off and high. This night went really sour really quick. Just because we wanted to go to the ladies' room. You know what I mean? So it's now 4:30 in the morning. Like we're driving home. And it's a real bummer because Ray threw a fit and beat Di to shit. You know what I mean? Beat her back of her head in. Everybody's pissed off, right? It just wasn't very cool. So I'm driving and I'm thinking, he's looking at my wheel. I'm very aware of what's going on. He's looking at my steering wheel like he wants to wreck my car while I'm driving it. So I drive us very slowly because I'm like, I'm driving slow. I'm the driver. I'm making that decision. This way, if he does grab the wheel and try to roll the car or wreck it, we're not going 50 miles an hour or 200 miles an hour, right? Well, my car wouldn't do 200 miles an hour, but you know what I'm saying? So he He's looking at the wheel like he wants to grab it. Because, he's real famous for punching people in the face and taking their keys. I'm freaking out. I'm like, this guy, he's dangerous, man. And we get to their place. We get to her mom's place because her sister's watching their child. They actually have a child together now. See? They have a little baby, 6 months old, or I think she wasn't even. She might have been not. She wasn't even a year old. Their little daughter, and her younger sister, at her mom's place, has been watching the baby right while we're out partying. We pull up, and Di immediately runs into her mom's house and knows where the gun is and knows where the bullets are. So her mom was an ex-sheriff and she had guns around. And she loads the gun. She knows how to load a gun. Her mom probably showed her how to do it. She loads the gun and tells Ray, "I'm gonna blow you away," because he had just finished slamming her head into the wall as hard as he could. Now, I don't know if her head was cracked, to be honest with you. There was no hospital check. I don't know. I don't see any blood, but that doesn't mean that her head wasn't cracked open. She's pissed off. So she grabs this gun. She's like, "I'm going to blow you away." And she takes off down the street, chasing him. He's running now because she's got a loaded gun. And I'm like, "Die, man, don't kill him. You'll end up in prison. They'll put you away. You'll do time. You've got a baby daughter." I'm yelling, and I'm like, "I can't run. You know why I can't run? Because I busted my ankle. No more running for me, man. I just gotta stay and take it. Whatever's coming my way, I gotta stand and take it because I can't run." That's the same. That's the very case today. I'm unable to use my ankle to run on it. I can't run on it. So, I have to be very careful what I get myself into these days. But anyway, long story short, her sister goes booking it out there. I get to hold the baby, try to console the baby. And because they had actually been fighting in the bedroom with the baby. That's what this whole episode happened with the gun. So this happened really quickly. I wouldn't even say 15, 20 minutes, right? So her sister books it out there to go get Di to quit chasing Ray with the gun, to stop trying to kill him, And they do. But they stay together. Okay, now, the reason I bring this up is because at this point, this episode makes my mind up for me, as well as the fact that my brother, I'm 20 going on 21. That my brother had killed himself earlier that year, drug use. I knew it wasn't just the drugs, like I said. It was the welcome to our hell, man. It was my parents, man. The drugs had a lot to do with it, I'm sure. And, he was a cocaine addict. And I looked back and I thought, I've been doing drugs now for almost 9 years, like pot and really heavy drug use for 5 years, from the age of, especially 14, 15 to almost 21. I see what it's done to my body. I see what it's done to my friends. I know what it's done to my brothers. And I think, I'm going to end up dead. I'll end up in, an overdose or, killing myself with drug. I was still planning on killing myself at some point, but, I thought I got to get off the drugs. I don't want any more violence. I'm so tired of violence. Not just against me. I'm so tired of violence against people that I care about and that I love. I love Diane. She was my friend. She came to my aid. She used to let me sleep on her couch. I spent many nights on her couch. Just, not that I was afraid my parents were going to kill me or anything. It was just a nice way for me to get away from them, and maybe a couple of beatings when I was younger, And, she was good to me. She was very good to me. She was my best friend. And, she'll always be my best friend. I don't know if she's still living or not because I don't talk to her. We split off. But I made this decision that I got to get off the drugs. I'm like, I want a different life. This is all going back. You can go back and watch my last video there. I'm like, I want a different life. I don't want to be living around violence and around people beating people up anymore. I'm tired of it, man. Like I said. So I decide that I'm going to get off the drugs. Now, I smoked massive amounts of cigarettes at this point because I started smoking cigarettes when I was 19. I didn't start smoking cigarettes till I was 19. I started smoking pot when I was 12. But I've been smoking something since I was 12 years old. So, but I'm still smoking cigarettes heavy. I smoke 2 packs a day because I'm always up. I'm always high and I'm always partying. So I smoke a lot. And, I'm like, well, I'm not quitting those, but I'll get off the drugs. So I do. And I told my friend, I said, because they all want me to come party. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. Don't take this as personal against you guys. But my bro killed himself, drug user. My other brother, Howard, in Canada, kept getting in so much trouble because of drugs, prison time. He did prison time for drugs. He'd get thrown out of shelters, and he lost some of his fingers to frostbite in the middle of the winter in Canada when it's really, really cold. And he'd be on the street eating out of garbage cans. That's what my other brother was doing too. Right? And I could picture myself ending up in the gutter. See, and part of me says, I don't count. I'm dead. I was dead at 10 years old, or even before that, at 8, really. But I really say about 10 because that's when I realized. At 8, I'm sure of it. That's when it happened. Child sexual abuse. I was dead. But at 10, I realized it. And I thought, you guys you've killed me. There's nothing left, you know? Yeah, you go ahead. All it's going to take for you to do now is just physically take me out. I told my mom, go ahead and kill me. I'm already dead. And I told Ray, go ahead and kill me. You can't kill me. I'm already dead. Just finish it off, whatever. So that hasn't changed. But something inside of me says, no, we have to try to do this because I don't want this violent lifestyle. I was tired of being around violence. That's probably what it was, right? And the drugs were just going to pull me down into that world. And I was already in that world and I wanted out. So I stayed home. I didn't party anymore. I told her, I said, I just can't hang around with you guys anymore. I really can't because I'll be wanting to do the drugs. I'll be doing the drugs with you. I'll never get off of them. So I can't hang around anymore. I'll always be your friend. So I stayed home. And it took me a year to get off the drugs. I mean, to be to where I felt that I was free from wanting to do the drugs. I was done. It took me a year of really losing my friends. And I was by myself, living at home with my abuser parents. Isn't that just great? So I'm 1 year older now. I'm turning 21, right? Actually, I am 21 now. So, but it takes me that year. So then, as I'm home, I'm not doing anything, just working, not doing drugs anymore. So now what do I do with my time? I haven't really done anything really much with my time except for just get high and go around trying to keep my friends from killing each other, for the last like 3-4 years. You know what I mean? At least 3 years. And so I'm like, what do I do with my time? I start getting interested in travel logs, watching travel stuff on TV. I'm thinking, I'd love to travel. I'd love to go and see these places. I have dreams, things I'd like to do, and I don't think about the abuse. I don't think about the abuse, right? The child sexual abuse or the abuse my parents dished out at me. You know why? Because, like I said before, I put it in the drawer, and I turn the key, shut the drawer, turn the key, put the key away. I don't sit and put that in my mom's face all the time. You abused me. You know why? Because then she probably would hit me with something, probably heavy, and kill me. You know what I mean? She still had those tendencies. You know what I mean? If I ever said anything like that to her, she'd probably take a bloody, iron cast iron pan and actually literally cave my head in. You know what I mean? You just don't say stuff like that to my mom, no matter how old she is, because she'd kill you. So I wouldn't sit there and do that, and I had put the abuse away. So I know I've been abused. I mean, come on. The issue is I didn't make it an issue. Because now I'm thinking, I got to get a life, I'm an adult now. I'm 21, I'm working, and I want to be an adult, right? And I want a relationship with somebody special. Not just a guy, not a fling. I had plenty of opportunities for that, but no guy touches me. No. I don't have any dates. I still haven't had any dates. I'm now 21 years old. I've never been on a date, ever. I've never gone out with a guy by myself, like to hang out, make out, whatever. Never. Because I can't. Because I was raped at 8 years old for about a year by my brother. Nice. Nobody touches me, man. They still don't touch me. But I want that relationship between two people that love each other. See, this is what it is. It's not just this, I want to go out and just find a guy and just get at it. It wasn't that. I'm not going to get real specific. I'm not going to get real explicit here on this stuff, but I'm allowing you to see what was going on in my heart. Like I wanted to meet my perfect man, like my husband, the right Mr. Right. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want a man who was going to beat me, and I didn't want a man who was going to run me down. You're a fucking whore, or you're a bitch or whatever. No, I wanted somebody who was going to love me. Right? I'm still looking for love. In all the wrong places. My mom hates my fucking guts. You know what I mean? My mom hates me, man. And I know that. She doesn't tell me that so much anymore, but I know that she wasn't lying when she said those things, right? She's trying to make it good because she knows that I could move out at any time. And she doesn't want me to move out because she relies on me instead of my dad because she hates my dad for what he did to her and what he did to her boys. She didn't care about the girls, right? It's always about the boys. He hurt the boys. You hurt the boys. Like, you both hurt the boys. What are you talking about? But in her mind, that's just how her mind was. My mom was mentally ill, right? So, and psychologically ill. A whole lot of different illnesses. You know what I mean? She was emotionally ill. She was just ill. She was physically ill, right? And she was sick. Sick and twisted in her mind and in her body, right? So, she doesn't want me to go because she's relying on me. It's what you call codependency. She's happy that I'm 21 and I'm still hanging around, right? I'm not causing any problem. I'm not even really drinking or doing drugs around the house like my brothers were. I'm watching travel logs on TV, and we actually start getting along quite well. And I'm still working with her, and we meet people. We have friends. I have a good friend, Susan Stevens. She's married now, and her mom, Mary, really became our good friends because we were working with these ladies. They were a mother-daughter team at work too, and we'd go to dinner, we'd go to suppers out, and I was happy for my mom. See, I'd be sitting there in the booth or at the table, wherever we were at eating. And these two ladies would be sitting across, and me and my mom would be sitting there. And I'd be happy for my mom. These two ladies over here have no idea the relationship that me and my mom have had. They have no idea the stuff that my mom did to me. They have no idea that my mom let my brother rape me as a child. They don't have any idea that my dad completely mistreated everybody in the family. They don't know this. And my mom loves them, and they totally are they're really good people. And I was happy for my mom. I would never sit there and try to kibosh it, and say mean things. I think once in a while she was saying something silly like, I'd sort of say, well, that's not quite how it was, you know what I mean, sort of thing. And they would just look at me like, then they'd just blow it off, you know what I mean? And my mom would be like, shut your lip, bitch. You know what I mean? It's like, shut your lip, bitch. Or I'm still big enough. I'm still bigger than you. Can I slap you down? You know what I mean? My mom was bigger than me on her deathbed. She was a big lady. She was tall, she was 5'11" and a half. She weighed 250 pounds. By this time, she had taken off some weight. She was getting older. She was sicker, but she's still bigger than me at any given time, even on her deathbed, right? So, they like her. We go out. We even go to their house. My mom has friends, the friends of the family that were around that took me to see the Santa Claus. We've been doing stuff with them for years now together. We always used to go to their house. Even now, I'll point this out just because we're talking about this. These are the people that took me to see the Santa Claus after my mom had beaten the shit out of me 2 months prior and broke my nose, right? And I have, you can see it. You can see the bruising. It's still bluish, kind of. You can also see the big honking welts on the side of my face. It's sticking off my face. My mom rearranged my face, man. You know what I mean? And they took me to see that Santa Claus. My mom would never take me to see Santa Claus, right? Well, these people, we've been doing stuff with them for years. But even when I was young and we were going to their house, like that age, 10 years old, 9 years old, 11 years old, right in there. My mom, would be going over there, and I would be saying, so I don't know, I might have said something or something, which was always a bad idea to say anything to my mom because it would always come with a backhand, right? So my mom would slap me around before we even got there, right? Like whether it was getting into the car to go over there or whatever. I mean, she'd be like, I'm telling you right now, you're going to fucking straighten up, and I'd be beaten to shit again. And I'd be pouting, and she'd be, take that fucking look off your face, and I'd be like, better take it off. Better sit here, smile. She'd be, you put a goddamn smile on your face. We're going over there, and I'm not going to have you looking like a piece of shit, you know what I mean, bitching at me. And so we'd get over there, and I'd go play with their daughter, who was 4 years younger than me, the one I said I really love, but we kind of split off, right? And I'd be like, we'd close the door, and she'd be sitting there. She didn't know what's going on. She was too young. She was probably like 6, 7 years old, And I'm like 10, 11. And I'd be like, I'd be looking out the window, just looking around. Because I was already psychotic by this time from all these beatings. And I'd be like, if she hits me again, I'm running away. I'm running away. If she hits me one more time, I'd say that. These people, we hung around them for years. They ignored the beatings. They never told my mom, what are you doing to her, man? Are you like trying to destroy her? Is that what you're doing? Are you just trying to just totally destroy your child? Because that's what you're doing. No, because it was all about my mom. That's what I said. In this series, you will see that it was all about my mom. My mom would sit at the table. It's just been such a hard life. I've been so sick, and my kids don't help. They're no help. It was always us, They don't do anything. They don't help me out around the house. They don't do anything. I've got no help, And they'd feel sorry for her. They'd be like, I know. We just love you so much. You know what I mean? And in the meantime, I've got fucking bruises and welts on my face popping up from the beating I just took 20 minutes before we even got there. But I can't say anything. You know what I mean? So, because if I do, I get another ass kicking, So this is just the way it went. But we had friends, my mom had friends. And and to be honest with you, I was always really happy about it. Because those people were good to me too, even though they didn't really do the right thing. They still were very, very, very nice to me. And I kind of considered their mother, these sisters' mother, to be my mother, in a way. That would have been the mother that I would have liked to have. Because she treated her daughters very well. She was a little hard on them here and there, but she did not kick the crap out of them. No perfect. There's no parent who's perfect, and there's no child who's perfect, right? There's no perfect situation, but they love. I know that her and her husband love their children. Didn't always do right. Nobody ever always does right by their children, but I don't think they kicked the crap out of them. You know what I mean? And made them want to kill themselves. I sure hope not. You know what I mean? So, but my mom had friends, and I was happy for her. And I was glad that we were actually getting along because we would go out to eat. Like I said, even me and my mom would go out to eat. My mom loved to go out to eat. She loved to go to the restaurant. So I'd take her in my car and we'd go to these places that were our favorite places all around the city, different nights, and we'd go and eat and stuff. My dad was never welcome to come along. Not to be mean, but my dad was, if they were together, the fight would start. The fight would still start, right? So I'm 20, 21 now. I got nothing to do with my time. We're doing stuff really for my mom, right? Even though one of the ladies, my friend Susan, who I'm still friends with today, even on Facebook, she's a good friend of mine. She's awesome, man. She loved my mom. See, but if she would have known about all this stuff, it doesn't matter to her because it's so long ago. I don't even know if it would have changed her opinion about my mom. You know what I mean? See, people can't, they don't know what it's like to be that child being beaten, you know what I mean, by that person. So that relationship doesn't really matter to them. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't expect people to just diss my mom, just because I'm going public with our story, right? A lot of people love my mom, and I was happy they loved my mom. right? But I'm just telling you how she really was so that you know how she really was, because she was very good at manipulating people. And I just want people to see the manipulation and how she really was, right? And I'm just being 100% honest here. So, she loves this. My mom loves this. I'm sticking around. I'm helping her out. Her and my dad are fighting less and less. He's only trying to rape her every now and then nowadays, right? He's not trying to rape her every other day. Now it's kind of like maybe a twice a year thing. I only have to correct him maybe every 6 months. It's because he's getting old, you know what I mean? And he can only get that much gumption up every now and then, you know what I mean? I guess whatever his deal was. But they're still at it a little bit. They're still not, they don't get along as a couple, and they never did. No. So he's not welcome to come to the restaurant because they'll start fighting. But I started corresponding with this pen pal. I had just picked up through this magazine thing. You could sign up to be a pen pal with people, right? I had a bunch of pen pals from all over the world. And I could speak a little bit German, so I had a German pen pal. I had a Spanish pen pal, but I could really converse with her because I speak Spanish. And I had a guy pen pal from Canada. Well, we hit it off because, right, you could just, for whatever reason, we just totally hit it off. And this guy, I really fell in love with this guy. I had never met him. He was a pen pal of mine for that year because I'd hit 21, and I'm not drinking and I'm not doing drugs. I'm staying home. So all of a sudden, this is starting to get fun. Because here I meet this guy. He lives in Canada. He sends me photos. He's very, very good looking, very handsome, very romantic. He's French. He's a French Czechoslovakian. He speaks French. He's very romantic and he seems to be very caring, right? And I think, this guy, this is my kind of guy, right? I'm looking for Mr. Right. See? So I'm thinking, yeah, this is cool. I was having fun with it. We started talking on the phone. He would call me every night, literally, and talk. And we would talk and talk and talk, and we hit it off. And he said, one time he calls, he says, I'm coming down there to New Mexico. I'm gonna bring my truck and my camper. He's a few years older than me, 7 years older than me. And he's got a few bucks, he's not poor. And he wants to come to see me, just specifically to see me. And, to see New Mexico, have me take him around and see New Mexico to see how this goes, right? How this relationship goes. And I'm thinking, oh my God, no guy touches me, man. What am I going to do with this? Child sexual abuse is in the drawer, but I still know this. So it's freaking me out a little bit, but I'm so excited about it because I'm thinking, this is the one. And it just got in my heart that this was the one. This one was the one, the perfect one for me, right? So just to make a long story short, I go, I haven't met him yet. He hasn't arrived. But I go and I think, man, if we do end up having sexual relations, I don't want to get pregnant. I got to be on the pill. And I don't want to rely on anything else. So I'm thinking, I got to go get a gynecology checkup. I got to get on the pill, right? Just in case, because there's no way I'm going to have a child that's just, no. Because I don't know I'm barren. See, I don't know that I've been made barren yet, right? Until I go to the gynecologist. So I set up a gynecology appointment because I've never had one before. I'm 21, right? And I go to this gynecologist, and I have to fill out the clipboard, and I have to tell them, my story. They want to know if I've had sexual intercourse before, and stuff like that, and my information. And so I put no. I've never had sexual intercourse with anyone. That I'm a virgin, right? So they do the gynecology checkup. The lady, it was a lady gynecologist because I wouldn't go to no man. Right? And she's looking pissed off. And I'm wondering she's a bitch. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go into details about this gynecology report too much, but she was stomping around all pissed off and mad. And I thought, what a fucking bitch. I'm sitting here in a very precarious situation. I don't even want to be here. And I have to have this test so I can get on the bloody pill. She's being rude, right? Well, she comes back after a while. We're done. So she comes back with my chart and all this and my paper and the results. of the test, right? And she's like, so, you got here that you're a virgin, right? No sexual intercourse. And I said, that's right. No, I'm a virgin. No sexual intercourse. I've never had sex with anybody. She's like, well, honey, I got to tell you, you're no virgin. And I'm like, and you should, I mean, if you could see it, the blood drained from my face. I could feel, my heart stop. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Because to me, in my mind, I was a virgin. I'd never slept with anybody. No, I had been raped by my brother, who was 13 years older than me, for about a year when I was 8 to 9. But to me, that wasn't me making the choice, So in my mind, I was a virgin, right? And she's like, no, honey, you're no virgin. She says, you can say that all you want, because you're a 21-year-old woman. You can press charges. You can do whatever you're going to do, but you were sexually abused as a child. The scar tissue is there. We see it. It's a mess. You may or may not be able to have children. There's a lot of damage there. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you tell me about it. But I didn't say nothing to her, right? I'm just being tight-lipped, not saying a word. And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, trying to just remain calm. And she says, it's up to you. You can press charges, but we're reporting it as we see it. Child sexual abuse, rape. So she didn't ask me any questions. There wasn't any questions asked or anything. It wasn't a police report, right? And I told her, I said, well, I'd press charges, maybe, now that you're telling me all this stuff. But I said, the person that did that to me was my brother, who was 13 years older than me, and I was 8 years old, and he's dead. He committed suicide last year. And she's like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what are you going to do? It's my life. I deal. I don't cry. And so I have to drive home. But I get to get on the pill, right? So they actually tell me how to use the pills when I go pick them up, how to do it properly. Well, I get home. I'm staying with my abuser parents. I'm living with my abuser parents still, right? And I go to my room, and I don't tell them anything about the gynecology checkup. I keep that stuff to myself, man. And I go in my room, and I'm thinking, because this just brought all this stuff out of the drawer that I had put away, and I had taken the key and put the key away. Well, this brought it all out. So I'm standing there, and I'm just crying, just weeping, just silent. Not making no noise, but the tears are falling. Because I'm like, this has been such a nightmare. It's not even funny. It trashed my life, I've just been told that I may never have children because it looked like an impossibility. If I did, I might be able to have one. That would probably be it. And they said the chances of you getting pregnant, you can get on the pill, probably a good idea, but the chances of you even getting pregnant, no, not going to happen. You'd have to have reconstruction. And I'm like, because down in the States, man, you pay for that. Nobody's paying for that for you. So I'm like, no, let's leave it. Right? This is like such delicate stuff even for me, right? And I'm like, so I'm sitting there, but I'm thinking, I'm so excited about this guy coming because I know I love him. See, in my heart, I haven't even met him, but I love him. And I just continue to kind of not do well. You know what I mean? Like, I don't face things. I can't face things. I can't even deal with this child sexual abuse, right? So this guy, he comes and he arrives, and it's just everything I thought it would be. for the first while. I was just so excited about this.